गोरी रे रसिया।
कौन गाम की 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 गोरी रे रसिया।
आज बीरज में ओरी रे रसिया।
आज बीरज में ओरी रे रसिया।
होरी रे होरी बर जोरी 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 रे रसिया।
नंद गाम के कुंवर कन्हाई।
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 बरसाने की राधा गोरी रे रसिया।
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 आज बीरज में होरी 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 रे रसिया।
होरी रे होरी बर जोरी 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 रे रसिया।
कौन के हाथ कनक पिचकारी।
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 कौन के हाथ में रोरी रे रसिया।
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 कृष्ण के हाथ कनक पिचकारी।
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 राधा के हाथ में रोरी रे रसिया।
राधा के हाथ में रोरी रे रसिया।
राधा के हाथ में रोरी जोरी रे रसिया।
राधा के हाथ में रोरी रे रसिया।
राधा के हाथ में रोरी रे रसिया।
राधा के हाथ में रोरी रे रसिया।
आज बीरज में होरी 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 रे रसिया।
होरी रे होरी बर जोरी 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 रे रसिया।
अपने अपने घर से निकसी।
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 कोई सांवरी कोई गोरी रे रसिया।
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 आज बीरज में होरी 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 रे रसिया।
होरी रे होरी बर जोरी 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 रे रसिया।
उड़त गुलाल लाल भय बादर।
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 लाल लाल ब्रज छोरी रे रसिया।
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 आज बीरज में होरी 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 रे रसिया।
होरी रे होरी बर जोरी 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 रे रसिया।
बलि भली जाऊं राधे कृष्ण छवि।
बलि बलि जाऊं राधे कृष्ण छवि।
बलि बलि जाऊं राधे कृष्ण छवि।
बलि बलि जाऊं राधे कृष्ण छवि।
जुग जुग जिए यह जोड़ी रे रसिया।
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 आज बिरज में होरी रे रसिया।
आज बिरज में होली रे रसिया।
आज बिरज में होरी रे रसिया।
आज बिरज में होली रे रसिया।
होरी रे बर जोरी 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 रे रसिया।
बलि बलि जाऊं राधे कृष्ण छवि।
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 जुग जुग जिए यह जोड़ी रे रसिया।
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 आज बिरज में
होरी है।
रसिया।
आज बिरज में होली रे रसिया।
आज बिरज में होरी रे रसिया।
आज बिरज में होली रे रसिया।
होरी बर जोरी रे रसिया।
होली बर जोरी रे रसिया।
होरी रे बर जोरी रे रसिया।
होली रे बर जोरी रे रसिया।
होरी रे बर जोरी रे रसिया।
होली रे बर जोरी रे रसिया।
होरी रे बर जोरी रे रसिया।
होली रे बर जोरी रे रसिया।
आज बिरज में होरी रे रसिया।
आज बिरज में होली रे रसिया।
आज बिरज में होरी रे रसिया।
आज बिरज में होली रे रसिया।
नंद गाम के कुंवर कन्हाई।
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 बरसाने की राधा गोरी रे रसिया।
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 बलि बलि जाऊं राधे कृष्ण छवि।
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 जुग जुग जिए यह जोरी रे रसिया।
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 आज बिरज में होरी 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 रे रसिया।
होरी रे होरी बर जोरी रे रसिया।
होरी रे होरी बर जोरी रे रसिया।
होरी रे बर जोरी रे रसिया।
होरी रे बर जोरी रे रसिया।
आज बिरज में होरी 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 रे रसिया।
बोलो लाडली लाल की।
जय।
Can you turn this clock around? Prapannaham sada shyama Guru padarvindayo tasya preranaya tasya divyadesham vadamyaham cheto darparnamarjanam bhavamaha davagninirvapanam shreya kairavachandrika vitaranam vidyavadhu jivanam anandambudhivardhanam pratipadam purnamrita svadanam sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai tagvangha devamatma buddhi prakasham mumukchurvai sharanamaham prapadye. Dear devotees, last night I started explaining about the 8 verses said by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji that we call the Shiksatak. Holi is also called Gaur Purnima. It's the full moon night on which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji appeared in this world. And we know that he is the avatar of Radha and Krishna who came in this world to teach about devotion to Radha and Krishna, but in the form of a saint. So they both came in one form as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji. Last night, I explained 2 of the shlokas to you. One explained about correct aspiration, what to ask for or not ask for from God. And we learned that Mahaprabhu ji tells us not to ask for wealth or status or fame or any kind of worldly thing, and not even for liberation, but just to ask for Shri Krishna's selfless love, selfless devotion to Shri Krishna in every life. The second shlok that I explained talked about humbleness and our relationship with Shri Krishna. That even though we are very fallen souls, all of us, but we belong to Him. So there's nothing to worry about. All we have to do is surrender, and He accepts us. Tonight, I'll explain 3 shlokas that all relate to Nam Sankirtan, singing God's name. So in one, he both talks about singing God's name and humbleness. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada hari. Mahaprabhu ji tells us of a very high level of humbleness, what we should all be striving to achieve. He says, always remember God's name. Kirtaniyah sada harihi. Whether you're chanting out loud or chanting silently in your mind or repeating Radhe Radhe with every breath, sada, all the time, remember God's name. He tells more about the importance of God's name in a couple of the other shlokas I'm going to share with you. But first, let's see how he says to take God's name. He says, remember God's name all the time while feeling more humble than a blade of grass and while being more forbearing than a tree. These things almost seem impossible to us if we really think about it practically. A blade of grass gets stepped on and doesn't grumble. It just bends and then comes back. We step on grass every day. Mahaprabhu ji says a devotee has to be that humble that even if he gets stepped on, even if she gets stepped on, they don't grumble. They don't even feel like grumbling. There's a story of Shankaracharya, Jagadguru Shankaracharya's time, where this quite educated, scholarly, religious man was coming with a desire to make Shankaracharya his guru and follow the path of Gyan, which requires a very high level of renunciation, detachment, and humbleness right from the start. So when Shankaracharya ji saw this man coming, he instructed one of the sevaks, a sevika in the ashram, who was sweeping. She had the seva of sweeping outside. He told her, see, this man is coming. He gave her agya. I want you to sweep some dust into him when he's passing by. Just, pretend like you're sweeping normally, and when he gets close to you, just make sure the dust hits him. So the man came walking, and sure enough, she followed his instruction and swept that dirt right into him. And he just immediately growled at her. Are you blind? Can't you see what you're doing? How dare you? And then continued in to see Shankaracharya ji to ask him, can I follow Gyan Marg? And he said, no. You look at how much anger you have in you. You need to become more humble. You need to purify your mind. Go and chant Radhe Govinda and do parikrama of Govardhan Hill for 1 year and come back. So he came back after a year, and at that time, Shankaracharya ji again told that ashram vasi, this time he's improved. His mind has purified to some extent. So just sweeping dirt on him will not be enough. I want you to actually touch him with the broom this time when he walks by. So here he comes, and she again sweeps the dirt and touches him with the broom. This time he bubbles up from inside, but he controls it. He doesn't say anything, and he heads in. And he says, Guruji, can you please instruct me in Gyan Marg? And he says, no, there's still too much anger, not enough humbleness in there. You controlled it, but it's still there. Go and do parikrama of Govardhan Hill, chanting Radhe Govinda for the next 1 year, and then come back to me. So he followed the instructions, and again he returned after a year. And this time, Jagadguru Shankaracharya instructed that ashram vasi to, she's sweeping and she's collecting it in some kind of a bin, right? He said, I want you to dump that on his head. So he approached, she dumped it on his head, and this time he fell at her feet and said, Ma, you are my first guru. You've taught me humbleness. Then Shankaracharya accepted him as his disciple. This is the kind of humbleness that Mahaprabhu ji is talking about. You get stepped on, and not only do you not grumble, you don't even feel like grumbling. There's no reaction. Obviously, none of us are at that level, but at least we should know that that is desirable. That is a sign of progress in sadhana. The closer we get to being like that blade of grass, the higher we're getting. The blade of grass is low, it always bends its head, and yet if we become like that, the higher and higher we're getting. In the world, you can't always show your humbleness. Sometimes at work, somebody might accuse you of something you didn't do, or take credit for work you did do, or try to get you in trouble with your manager, or just take advantage of you if you're not firm, or maybe you run a business. You can't just let everybody have whatever they want. Sometimes you might even have to fire people who work for you. In the world, you behave according to the situation. It's not always appropriate to show that kind of humbleness. What it means is from inside, you should feel that humbleness, but from outside, you behave appropriately. See, look at saints. Saints say, and they believe it, they feel it. Mohi kapat chhal chhidra nabhava. Ram says, I do not like craftiness, cleverness, kapat, chhal, being a trickster, meaning taking advantage of others. He really doesn't like that. So saints say, I am the most fallen. And they really feel it. But look, some of you may have met someone like Kripaluji Maharaj. Amongst his disciples, did he always behave in what would, someone would characterize as being a humble way. No, that's not always appropriate. Sometimes he scolded us. Sometimes he gave us instructions. He's the coach. He's the manager, right? He can't behave like that all the time, even though he's 1,000,000 times more humble than we are. And yet his divine status is 1,000,000 times higher than ours is. So what I mean is that height comes with humbleness, or the humbleness comes with the height. God-realized saints are so many times more humble than we are. It's such an irony. We're the ones who actually have something to be humble about. We're under Maya, we're ignorant, we've wasted so many lifetimes, we're powerless. We have so much to be humble about, and yet we walk around so puffed up. And if someone even says one thing about us, pointing out something about our personality, oh, you get angry really fast, or you don't listen, or anything, someone may say it in a really nice way, and yet it hurts us so badly because we have so much trouble accepting these things. But this is how we are. We have to work now. We have to do sadhana. So the main point is realizing that true humbleness is a sign of spiritual progress. And when we become truly humble, 100% humble, that will mean we're God realized. So we have to work on our humbleness. We have to aspire to be like that blade of grass. Even though we may not be able to show that all the time in the world, we can show it more in this type of setting. There may still be times, even in the ashram, where you have to be firm about something or point out someone's mistake. But more often than not, in this type of devotional setting, we just don't have to worry about setting anybody straight. We just do our seva, do our sadhana, and we don't have, because here we don't have to worry about getting ahead. In the world, we have to worry. Is somebody trying to backstab me? If I don't do some self-promotion, I'm not, I'll just be stuck in this position. I won't be able to get ahead. So in the world, we have to worry about getting ahead. In devotion, we don't have to worry at all about getting ahead because God and Guru knows what's in our heart, and the thing they appreciate is humbleness. If they see us being humble to another devotee, then they feel we're at a higher status. If they see us helping another devotee, we're at a higher status in their eyes. So the lower we make ourselves in devotion, the higher we are in God and Guru's mind. That's hard for us to remember, but it's something we can keep reminding ourselves of, and hopefully we can improve our humbleness day to day. Along these same lines, Mahaprabhu ji says, Taror api sahishnuna. Sahishnu bhav means sahanshilata, the ability to bear. Bear what? Bear somebody telling us something we don't want to hear. Like a tree gives shade to everybody. If it has fruit, it provides that fruit for everybody. The person may come and break a branch off the tree, chop a branch off the tree, shake the tree, do anything. The tree, again, doesn't grumble. The tree keeps giving its fruit, keeps providing shade to everybody. It is so forbearing. No one is more forbearing than a tree. In fact, in the Bhagavatam, Shri Krishna extolled the greatness of trees to his friends one day. Yeah, he told them, look, you should learn to live like trees. Trees just give and give and give and give. They live the most charitable life, and they never grumble for anything. This is a devotional quality. If we learn to think of others, even though it's not our nature, it's our nature to look out for our own happiness. But if we make the effort to think about, what does another devotee need? How can I help this person? And whether we get recognition or acknowledgement or not, or whether we get rebuked in return, we should maintain that attitude of looking out for the welfare of other devotees, so we can also learn to become like a tree. In the next line of this same shlok, Mahaprabhuji expands upon this idea when he says, Amanina manadena. Amanina means don't look for respect. Again, I'll let you decide how much you can apply this in the world. This is more for your devotional behavior among devotees in a devotional setting like this, in satsang. In the world, to the extent you can, it's nice to be able to apply this, but it's not always possible in every situation. But as devotees here in the ashram, for whatever time we're able to be here, amanina, don't ever look for respect from anybody. Don't expect it, don't demand it. Again, contrary to our nature, right? Don't you know who I am? How dare you talk to me that way? Don't you know what I've done for this mission? We have that. All of us have that in our heart, more or less. This is also something we have to be aware of. It's a dangerous thing. So instead of demanding respect from others, manadena, give respect. Go out of your way to give respect to others instead of demanding it from them. It's such a relief, even, for a brief moment, if I'm able to actually think like that, it really is such a relief. Oh, I don't have to care if anyone respects me or not. All I have to care about is giving respect to others. In the world, we're always afraid. If I live like that, what's going to happen to me? I have to protect myself. In the devotional world, you don't have to protect yourself. God, Guru protect you. You have to have faith in that. So that up to God and Guru. So Mahaprabhuji says, be more humble than a blade of grass, be more forbearing than a tree, and instead of demanding respect, try to give respect. And while keeping this attitude in the mind, chant God's name in your heart all the time. So what is the greatness of God's name? He tells us in the next shlok that I'll share with you. Nam namakari bahudha nij sarva shaktis tatrarpita niyamitaha smarnena kala etadrishi tav kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaivami drishamiha janinanuraga. He says, "O Krishna," Mahaprabhuji is saying, even though he himself is Krishna, "O Krishna, you are so kind. You have put all of your powers in your name." So, your name is synonymous with you. Or you can say, Bhagwan Swayam apne naam mein baithe hain. God is sitting in his name. Or you can say that his name is another form of him. There's no difference between him and his name. So, O Krishna, you have provided us such a powerful tool. Even though we can't see you right now because we're not qualified, but we have your name and we can chant your name. And you haven't put any restriction on when to chant your name or where to chant your name. We can be anywhere, anytime. So it's such an easy thing to make use of and so powerful. You're in your name and I can chant your name anytime, anywhere. It means I can connect to you anytime, anywhere I want. I have the perfect connection. And yet, Janinanurag, Durdaivami Drishamiha Janinanuragaha. I am so unlucky, I am so misfortunate that even though you've provided this name, but when I chant it, I don't feel any love for you. I don't feel excitement. My heart doesn't melt. I don't feel a thrill in my body. I have such bad luck. What is that bad luck? When God Himself is in His name, why can we not experience the blissfulness of that name? Tulsidas Ji says, Jasu naam sumirat ik bara Utarahi nar bhav sindhu apara. If someone correctly remembers the name even once, they'll cross the ocean of Maya and reach God. But when we take the name, never mind crossing Maya and reaching God, many times we don't feel anything. It's like just repeating any word. Why is it so? Because we all have the same durdaiv, the same bad luck. And you know where luck comes from. We create our own luck with our past lives' actions. It's called prarabdha. But this is a very particular brand of bad luck. This particular brand of bad luck has been created by doing namaparad. Aparad means a transgression or a crime. And nam means the name. We have offended against God, God's name, God's virtues, God's leelas, God's abodes, and God's associates, His saints. All these 6 things are one with the name. Nam, Roop, Leela, Guna, Dham, Jan. So if we have offended against any of these 6 by thinking negatively against them, we've all done it. Even thinking something like, why did Ram send Sita back to the forest? That is a transgression. It means we're doubting in Ram's goodness. How dare we? So that type of transgression blackens our heart. It pollutes our heart and blocks our ability to make that connection with God. It causes Him pain when we do that because He knows we're His children. He wants us to be able to experience Him, and yet it's this self-created blockage by having this negativity in our mind towards God, God's forms, God's names, etc. So in our past lives, we have done all kinds of namaparad. It's called spiritual transgressions. It's the worst kind of sin because it instantly pollutes the heart and blocks our devotional receptivity. So that even though there is unlimited potential in that name, Radhe, we say Radhe and we feel very little to nothing. Because we've created that blockage in our heart. The connection isn't clean. There's only one way to overcome this problem. Because although Ved tells all the different ways to redeem sins, it's called prayashchit karma, that works up until the most heinous social crimes like murder, but not beyond that. That prayashchit karma doesn't work for spiritual transgressions. There's no prescribed way of redeeming those on one's own. There's only one recourse: serving a saint. That's one of the, I would say that's the main reason that a soul desiring God needs a saint. God has provided this workaround for us. It says, you've created this blockage. There's nothing I can do for you, but here's a workaround. Here's my representative in the world. Serve this saint. Attach your mind to this saint, and my grace through the saint will redeem those sins. So serving the saint redeems the past spiritual transgressions, begins cleaning the heart, and then Nayanam galadashrudharaya Vadanam gadgadruddhaya gira Pulakair nichitam vapuh kada tavanam grahane bhavishyati. Mahaprabhu ji says, then a person may start to experience the blissfulness of the name. So he says, oh Krishna, when will I reach this state that while chanting your name, first of all, I'll get tears from my eyes. Tears of happiness because I feel close to you, or tears of longing to meet you. Gadagadarudaya. My throat will choke up with emotion when I'm singing your name. Pulakair nichitam vapuhu. My body will thrill with the excitement of feeling your closeness. He says, when will that day come? That day will come for all of us if we continue on this path. It's up to us to keep putting the effort in, keep doing seva, keep doing sadhana, and eventually by serving the saint, which includes following the saint's instructions for how to do sadhana, rup dhyan, kirtan. It includes making whatever effort we can to serve physically, financially, and mentally, means keeping our thoughts positive. All of that adds up and counts as seva to the saint. We're joining our mind with the saint. So through the saint's grace, our mind purifies, the effect of those past transgressions are gradually removed, and then the power that's already in the name, it's inherently there, and we're taking that name, all of a sudden that power starts to be felt in the heart. It's not that it wasn't there before, but you needed that. The grace of the Guru is like a catalyst to make that reaction happen. In chemistry, many times, you want a reaction to happen, you put all the right ingredients in, but there's one special ingredient you have to add, the catalyst. Without adding the catalyst, nothing's going to happen. So you can do Rup Dhyan, you can chant God's name, you can visit holy places, you can do hours of devotion, but if you don't add that special ingredient, Guru's grace, then there's no catalyst, so that reaction won't take place. You can keep doing devotion for years, and the effect of those transgressions wouldn't be redeemed. So this is the importance of Guru, and this is the greatness of the opportunity we have to serve such a Guru and make such definite progress on the path if we just put in a little bit of effort. So that's as far as I'm going to go tonight. Tomorrow morning we'll have one last lecture, and I'll explain the final 3 shloks of the Shiksatak as we've done. Boliye Shri Raseshwari Radha Rani Ki. So this is where I'll leave things tonight. Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki. We have chanting now up until midnight. And tomorrow morning we have Arti at the regular time, 6:30, and then we'll